All right, welcome everyone. We're so excited to have everyone here. So welcome to the Side by Side Sunday. I'm Shawna Murph, and I have the pleasure of interviewing and spending some time with Barbara Williams. And if you don't know Barbara Williams, you are missing out. She is a joy and a delight. So just some housekeeping tips. So this will be recorded. And if you haven't already muted yourself, we ask that you please mute yourself. And this will be recorded and put on our YouTube channel. So for those that aren't live with us, or if you want to watch it again, it will be on our YouTube channel. Also, I just wanted to say that if there are any questions or comments at the end, we've got some time at the end of our interview. This will go for about an hour, but about 50 minutes into it, we'll open it up for comments and questions. So be thinking, okay? So Barbara and I have known each other for almost 2 years. Did you know that, Barbara?
I didn't.
Yeah,
almost 2 years. Wow.
In May. Yeah, it'll be 2 years. And we have been on the same Gideon Game team during that time. And it's been an absolute joy, absolute joy. She's a beautiful soul, and she's had an amazing journey that I think, and I felt really inspired that someone needs to hear Barbara's story. And so that's why I asked her to come and share a little bit about her. So Barbara, I want to turn some time over to you to just kind of share a little bit about yourself, about your childhood, your family, your journey with recognizing that possibly you might have an addiction to food, whatever you'd like to just kind of share with us.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you for this opportunity. Such a privilege to be able to share my story. And as I was watching that video, it just, I just got a little bit emotional. I had sent those pictures and it wasn't expecting to get a little bit emotional seeing those pictures, because the old Barbara, I've almost forgotten who she was. So anyway, so I am originally from Canada. I have been living in just a minute, my dog, just a minute. I am so sorry. I've been living in northeastern Arizona now for almost 30 years. My husband and I will be celebrating our 30th wedding anniversary later this year. We have 4 sons, a daughter-in-law, and 2 grandsons. All 3 of my older sons have gone on missions and returned, and our youngest son is now on a mission in Washington, Tacoma, Michigan. So now that makes us empty nesters. I work at the school preschool right now. I tend to move around from school to school as a paraprofessional, which I just love. And I'm actually going to school online to become an early childhood and special education teacher. Love special education. I have been doing Bright Line Eating for 2.5 years. My journey has not been an easy journey. It's been, anyway, we'll just go with that.
So how did you find out about Bright Line Eating?
So it was just after COVID started. It was 2020. And I had just tried to keep losing weight. Just wasn't happening. And Genevieve Campbell and I both belonged to the same Facebook group, which was called Slimming Missionary Moms. And I had a missionary out at the time. He was in England, and she had a missionary out, and she had posted on there that she had lost about 130 pounds, I think it was. I was like, what? You're kidding me. You lost 130 pounds without surgery, without anything, just a plan. And so I reached out to her and said, tell me more, please tell me more. So she told me Bright Line Eating and told me a little bit about it. And I immediately downloaded the book. And I started reading the book, reading it online. And then we did a phone call after a few days after I had been looking at the book. And when I first looked at it and saw the 4 bright lines, I was like, no sugar, no flour. What? No, I don't think this is for me. This girl likes her sugar. I didn't realize I was addicted to sugar, but I knew that I liked sugar. And I thought, I don't think this will work. But anyway, we had a phone call, and she talked to me more about it and what you would eat. And when I downloaded the book, there was a 14-day challenge for $14. And I thought, I wonder if I could do this. It was an experiment. I wonder if I could give up sugar for 14 days. I thought, okay, I will do this for 14 days. And then that's it. I'm just going to see. So I did it for 14 days, but I noticed after about the 10th day, it's like, man, I'm not thinking about food all the time. This is really interesting. And I was already starting to have more energy. I thought there is something to this. So after the 14 days, I thought, well, why would I quit? Because I felt so good. So the 15th day came, and I just kept going.
Oh, same story. I had no idea that I would do it a 15th day. Yeah. So, but Barbara, had you tried different diets in the past?
Oh my gosh. Had I tried different diets? Weight Watchers was probably my go-to. I did it so many times. I drove 30 miles. I even drove 100 miles for a while. I drove to Flagstaff to go to Weight Watchers, 100 miles a week, each way to go to Weight Watchers. And that only lasted for, I don't know, a few weeks. And then it didn't anymore. Then I did the online, and then I did Optavia, and I did keto, and I did Atkins, and I did everything that I could imagine.
Wow. Any luck?
No. I would seem to get to about 40 pounds. And then after 40 pounds, that's, yeah. And I could never, ever get to my right size body. And then I would gain that weight back plus some extra.
Yeah. So, so you started Bright Line Eating, and it was just a smooth sailing from that point on, right?
So, so I started July the 6th was my first day of Bright Line Eating of 2020. And the first 5 or 6 months, it was smooth sailing. I was like, man, this is pretty easy. I got this. yeah, this is great. And then I got COVID of December 2020. And of course, I lost my smell and my taste, and I wanted to see if I could taste sugar. How,
Oh, no way.
how stupid was that? And then I just really struggled after that. Yeah,
Oh, I guess I
that
didn't realize that. I guess
it
I
was
didn't
that
realize it
one
was
taste of
planned
sugar.
exception.
Yep, yep.
Oh, honey, bless your heart.
So I was a crystal vaser for almost 6 months.
Yeah. So
And
then what? Guide us to the rest of this story. What
so
happened?
then I I would be bright for a time, a few weeks, sometimes even a month. Um, and then I would break. I wouldn't say that I was actually in the ditch, but I would break enough that it was so hard and it was exhausting. It was exhausting. I just, it was so hard. It was discouraging. And but I knew that I was unstoppable. I knew that I just kept pulling myself up I guess out of the ditch on days that felt like I was in the ditch, and just keep trying and resuming. And I did the boot camp, and I did listen to resume. And I have a fabulous Gideon Games team who were there to support me, but it wasn't clicking like it did at the beginning when it was so easy.
So what was your support during those really tough times? What were you relying upon? What were you holding on to? What made you so unstoppable?
Um, because I knew in the past that I had done it. I knew that I could do it. I wanted to feel, it was the way I felt those first 6 months that I loved having that peace and the food chatter gone. And I wanted that back so desperately, so desperately. I want to say that when I did first start Bright Line Eating, I was diabetic. I was on 2 different medications for diabetes, and my blood sugar was still out of control. I had high blood pressure. I was on medication for that. My health was not good.
So once again, your support, did you have somebody that was like your anchor, or you just kind of clung to the science, or other than so you had a Gideon game team that whole time, right?
Yes. Not the whole time, probably a year into my program, maybe not quite a year into my program, but when I was struggling, I had my Gideon Games team. But there is so much support there.
What about a mastermind group? Did you have a mastermind group?
I didn't, but I have one now. I
Good
have a
job.
fabulous mastermind group. And if any of them are listening, shout out to them because they are amazing. I've only had them for probably 4 months, but that has just been fabulous.
Nice.
I felt like it was one of the missing pieces that I needed.
Okay. So I'm sure everybody that's listening is wondering, are you bright now?
I am bright now. I resumed again for the many times November 1st. And I am so grateful that this time it worked. I think there were many different things that transpired of it working this time. But yeah, November 1st, I resumed, and I have been bright. I went through my birthday. I went through Thanksgiving. I went through Christmas. I went through having my father-in-law live with us for 2 months. some hard things, and stayed bright. And you know what? It has now become easy again.
Mm.
I just am so grateful, so grateful that it has become easy again, and the automaticity is back that I prayed and prayed for.
Hallelujah, huh?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
and I never want to go back.
so inquiring minds want to know, what was it on November 1st? What was it that just flipped the switch? Was it one thing? Was it multiple things? Did the stars align?
I would say it would be many things. One of the things that I was doing some parts work with Laura Lively. I had some childhood sexual abuse that I thought that I had dealt with in my early 20s. I had counseling back then, and I thought that it was that I was good. I was in a good place. But I noticed that every time I got under 200 pounds, I would panic. And I'm like, why am I panicking? Why am I doing this? So that's why I reached out to Laura Lively and did this parts work, and discovered that there were little girl parts that needed a voice. And that has helped me so much, and let these little girls heal and know that it's okay. And I'm not little anymore. These little girl parts think that I'm, young again. And, you have to kind of tell them, no, I'm not a little girl anymore, and I can take care of myself. And it's okay. So that helped me a lot. I also listened to Grit, which also helped me a lot when when I couldn't string more than a couple of weeks together. But here I am now, almost 4 months, and I just am so grateful every day for each bright day that I'm given.
Oh gosh, and we are so encouraged by that, because for somebody that breaks and resumes and breaks and resumes, at what point, or what would you tell somebody that is on that habitual break resume where, Monday morning comes and they think, oh, I got this. I so got this. I'm going to be bright. And then, by Tuesday evening, they've broke. What are some of the things that you would encourage them, if you could talk to them and sit knee to knee with their cup of herbal tea and just say, here's something that I would share with you?
Yeah, keep going. Just don't give up. Don't give up. Keep going. You'll get there. You will get there. In fact, in October, I have a fabulous guide. And in October, I said something to the effect, are you ready to be done with me, or something? Are you ready to give up on me? Because I was ready to give up. I was at a point that I was thinking, okay, this doesn't seem to be working for me anymore. I just can't get very many bright days together. And I was just tired of resuming. And she said, of course not. Of course, I am never, ever going anywhere and giving up on you. And if she had said, why don't you take a break? I would have taken a break, and I would not be where I am today. And it just reminds me of the Savior, that the Savior never, ever, ever gives up on us. When I was ready to give up on myself, He is always there for us, no matter what.
I love that. I love that. A lot of people don't include the Lord in this journey. A lot of them think, oh, we got, worldwide catastrophic, horrific wars and so why would I want to include him in something as simple as my weighed and measured meals, you know? And yet it's a huge, huge blessing to include him in this journey. Yeah.
Every morning I pray that I will have another bright day because I know that I can't do this journey on my own. I prayed for over 40 years. I have been overweight for more than 40 years. I have never, I shouldn't say never, I have not been in a right size body since I was 12 years old, maybe 11. I weigh less now than I did when I was in high school. I probably weigh even less than when I graduated junior high.
Wow. Amazing.
But
Amazing.
40 years, I kept praying and yeah, trying to find something that would work for me.
Oh,
And
boy.
this is it. My journey is not finished.
Oh,
Pounds, maybe 20 pounds. I don't know because I've never been, in a right size body at my height. So
yeah. So what are your thoughts about maintenance? What are you thinking? Do you have a goal range? First of all, are you comfortable with sharing with us what your highest weight was?
my highest weight was, it was at 283 for years and years and years, and I was raising my kids. And I do remember even one time weighing in at Weight Watchers and it was 294. So I was getting close up to 300. I'm about 5'8", 5'9". So to try and find a number has been really difficult for me because I don't know. So I've always said that I want to be a size because that's easier for me than a number. So I've always said I want to, when I get into a size 8, that's where I feel like I'm going to land my plane. And right now I'm a 10, 12-ish around there. So I'm getting close, but my plane has not landed yet.
But you are getting close. You are getting close. And it, like you said, it's not a sprint. It's a marathon.
Nope, it is not a sprint. It is a marathon because this is the way I'm going to live. This is not a diet. This is my identity. This is the way Barbara eats.
Boy, and I will tell you that one comment, that one statement is the change in the whole thing. When it becomes who you are, not what you do, the whole thing changes. That to me was the one thing that really solidified that this was sustainable, that I could do this the rest of my life, was when it became who I am and my identity. So I totally agree with you, Barbara. So do you have any tips for those that, let's say that someone was just starting Bright Line Eating and, and they were just starting out? What would be like just a few things that you would say, here's what I would encourage you to do or not do?
Okay. Write your food down. Commit your food, not just write it down, but commit it to someone or onto the Bright Line communities somewhere. And that's what you're going to eat the next day. Food Factory. I love Food Factory, prepping my meals. I always have, I don't do a ton, but I always have 10 to 20 meals in the freezer that have a protein and 10 ounces of vegetables. And I'd like to do the 10-10 veggie split because I can use those meals for either lunch or dinner. And so it just works out really well for me. And some of them do have a fat in them, and then I will write on my little container. So support community is so huge, so huge. Finding people that are like us, that eat like us. I would also tell them, protect those lines because it's easier to stay bright than to get bright, because I know how hard it is to get bright.
Love that. Love that. One thing that I was curious about, Barbara, is that you have a lot of very tall men in your home. So walk me through this. So you come home and you're like, guess what, guys? I'm starting Bright Line Eating. And did they feel like their throat had been cut? How did you manage doing Bright Line Eating with a bunch of young, strong sons and a tall husband that clearly all of them were probably big eaters?
Yeah, yeah. So right before I started, I sat down, my husband, and I had two sons at the home in the home at the time. One was my youngest, who was 16, and then my other son, who was home from college. And I sat them all down and I said, I'm going to be doing this new eating program, and I'm not going to be eating sugar and blah, blah, blah. And I told them the whole thing, and it was good. And then a few months into the program, my 16-year-old son said to me, Mom, when you told us that you were going to do this program, I thought, oh no, here we go again. Sorry, my nose is, here we go again. Mom's going to be grouchy. She's going to be crabby. He was just dreading it. He was not excited, but he said, Mom, you are happy. You are happier, Mom. He was not expecting it. And I was not expecting for a 16-year-old boy to, first of all, notice and to tell me. So that was such a great moment for me when he told me that he could see that I was happier, because I truly am so much happier. Oh my goodness, so much happier.
So did
Yeah.
you see that? Did you see that at that time? Did you feel happier?
I did, but I didn't know that he was going to notice it.
Yeah, 16-year-old sons usually don't notice too many things. So
No.
wow, that
Yeah,
is
and he was kind of afraid. He was afraid. Oh no, Mom's gonna be, she's gonna be grouchy. She's not gonna have her food to cope. I guess my family knew that was my coping mechanism, was my NMF and my NMD.
Wow. Wow. And then as far as so you've got support, you've got a Gideon game group, you've got a mastermind group. Do you commit your food to any one person every day?
So I do. I commit it to two people. I have a friend that we've been committing our food to each other for over a year, actually. Every day we commit our food, and then I also commit my food to my guide.
Nice. Nice.
And they'll occasionally, so like last week we had friends come into town, and they wanted to go for dinner, and I had committed something else. So I just texted my guide and I said, I have to change my dinner. It's going to be this instead of this. And that doesn't happen very often, but I did. I still told her that I was going to change my dinner.
That's part of
And,
the integrity,
and she doesn't care. She doesn't know. So like, it's just for me that I'm able to have that commitment to myself.
I love that, because that shows your level of integrity. It shows your level of identity. I love that. So, so Barbara, you are a subscribed member. You're a Bright Lifer, right?
I am.
And would you say, what do you get out of that? Not that we're selling subscriptions, not that we're advocating, we're totally neutral, but what do you get out of being a Bright Lifer?
I love the daily accountability call. I love all the modules. I listen to the maintenance modules. I'm listening to Grit again because our mastermind group wanted to do Grit. So we're doing that again. Love all the modules and the accountability call. There's even more that I don't use everything on there. There's so many calls, Dr. Joy, there's, yeah,
Yeah.
I love, I don't think I could do without it at this point.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. There, I stumbled upon a video that's in the science bundle. You know how some of the courses.
I saw that science, but I haven't watched it. Did you like it?
I did. There was one about happiness that was really powerful, really powerful. If anyone struggles with depression or anxiety, it was just a really powerful science module on the science of being happy. And so anyway, there's so much information. We can almost get lost in it, you know. So how do you feel that bright line eating has changed you? If you were to go back and take a picture, not a literal picture, but a snapshot of who Barbara Williams was 10 years ago and who Barbara Williams is today, what has changed in your life?
Oh, wow. I'm so much happier. I enjoy my family more. I enjoy when we do go out to eat, I enjoy them, and I'm not concentrating on the food. My connections with people have deepened. You know, it's kind of funny. I feel like I stand taller. I always felt like I was kind of hunched over because I was trying to protect the core of my stomach, because I was embarrassed. But now I feel like I stand up taller. I don't know, that sounds kind of funny. I went back to school. I believe that bright line eating gave me the confidence to go back to school, because I started that after I started bright line eating. I don't know that I would have gone back to school had I not done bright line eating and I'd be able to lose most of my excess weight. Another thing is I like leftovers. I used to hate leftovers, and I used to always want to give them to my husband for his lunch to go out the door. But now especially when there's vegetable leftovers, I'm just all over that. My husband will say, "Oh, do you want me to eat these leftovers?" And I'm like, "Well, no, not really. You can if you want, but I'm be very happy to keep those." So I just appreciate leftovers. So many things. Like, that's why I got emotional watching those videos and those pictures of myself at the beginning, because I just feel so different, so different. Not that I didn't love myself before. I did. I loved who I was then, but it's different. And I have peace. I feel more joy. Yeah.
Was there anything that you avoided when you were like in your highest weight? Was there something that you just kind of avoided and you didn't look forward to, or that maybe now you don't even think twice about?
There were some social situations that yeah. I'm going on a cruise for our 30th wedding anniversary in September with all of my husband's siblings. And I don't think I would have done that. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to buy some new swimming suits. This will be so fun. Like, that was not fun, buying swimming suits. That was painful and a chore. So yeah, going on this cruise is totally something that I wouldn't have done before, especially with my in-laws.
Wow.
So looking forward to that.
You know, it's funny because I was thinking about, I want to ask you about any non-scale victories, and that was just one of them. That was one of them, was going on a cruise with confidence. But are there any other non-scale victories that you'd like to share?
Being in an airplane. Have you ever been on an airplane and just have to, especially if you're by yourself and you have to sit by a stranger and you're just like trying to hold yourself in that little tiny seat? And I flew last fall, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is what it feels like to not be so uncomfortable on an airplane. And I'm going to be flying again on an airplane end of next week. And it's just so much easier flying and just walking. We have stairs, and I used to have to do one step at a time. And now it's just up and down, easy. Just moving is so much easier. Just, yeah.
And even being a grandma, right?
Being a grandma, the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, you're going to be that grandma that's down on the floor,
Yeah.
you know, at the
Yeah.
playground.
Oh, I will say this too. I had always wanted to be a preschool, not always, but for the last 10 years, I had thought about being a preschool teacher. And one of my fears was getting on the floor with the kids. And now it's easy. I get down on the floor all the time, and it's easy. Because before, 100 pounds ago, it was hard.
And
Yeah.
not only that, Barbara, but you're going to be with special needs children. And that takes on a whole nother level of strength, flexibility, agility.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Beautiful, beautiful. So as far as your habit stack, like your morning habit stack, what does that look like? Do you have one?
I do. And some days it's great and some days it's not, but I do have a habit stack. I do meditate. I prayer, meditate, and I occasionally will get on my treadmill. Depends on my homework schedule, but I do, and I've just started adding exercise in where I hadn't for a long time. But
Wow.
I do love the meditation. And my evening habit stack is my journal. I love my 5-year journal. I'm into my 2nd year now, and I just love to read back what I was going through the last year. So appreciate my 5-year journal. That's another thing I would tell someone starting out is 5-year journal and measurements. And I did not take measurements when I started, but a couple of weeks ago, I found some old measurements that I had taken from a different plan, and I had started at the same weight. And so I'm like, oh, here's my measurements from years ago, but it was the same weight. I was always at the same weight. So
wow.
that was a gift that I found them, and I hadn't thrown them away.
What a treasure.
Yes.
What a treasure.
Yes.
Measurements don't lie, you know?
That is true.
That is amazing. Hey, I wanted to ask you a couple of questions regarding food thoughts. So do you have food thoughts still after being bright since
No. I don't.
So if you do, because my theory is that we always kind of have a thought, but it's the planning, it's the implementing or acting upon that thought that is, the rabbit hole. So if ever you feel like that thought ever creeps up about breaking a line, or maybe just not weighing or measuring, or maybe having another bite or something like that, do you have a way to kind of shut that down?
I go back to that thought that I said earlier. It's easier to stay bright than to get bright, because I do not want to go anywhere near where I was, because it was so hard to get bright. So I want to stay bright. Now, having a food thought, I don't like think about food, like I used to, but sometimes if I go to the store and see something that I hadn't seen before, and I think, I wonder what that's like. I have those kind of thoughts, but I don't have thoughts that, are consuming me like I used to.
Yeah.
Oh, Shawna, when I was into my food addiction, my sugar addiction, it was like every couple of hours. Like, okay, what can I eat now? When can I eat? Oh, can I have some? I think I need some sugar now. Oh, I think I need this now. It was just constant, and it is so wonderful to. Sometimes I forget to eat, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta eat. It's like 2:30, and I another thing I do, which has really helped me, is I write down on my food commit what time I'm going to eat. But yesterday I didn't do that because I forgot. I mean, I forgot to eat when I had committed my time. It was yesterday that it was like 2:30, and I'm like, oh shoot, I was supposed to eat an hour ago. But I write down what time I'm going to eat, and that has really helped make my program more solid.
Oh, I love that. I love that. You know, that food neutrality for me is the greatest thing. Yes, the weight loss is great. But boy, there's nothing quite like that food neutrality. Just a reminder to mute yourself if you aren't already muted. But yeah, it sounds like you've entered into that food neutrality, which is just an absolute dream, isn't it?
Oh my gosh. Yes, 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 yes.
I once heard on a coaching call where someone referred to the constant food thoughts as a comma, where it was like eat, comma, eat, comma, eat, comma. But once you do bright line eating, you eat and then there's a period. And
Oh,
then
I
you
love
eat,
that.
and then there's a period. And then you eat and there's a period. And that's what has been one of the greatest blessings for me, is that I don't think about food till it's time to eat again. And then there's a period. So I love that you've experienced that as well. Do you have any fears about landing the plane?
I used to. I was very afraid. I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to do it, that it wouldn't be long term, because anything that I had ever done before, there was never any guidance on how to get into maintenance. You know, you just get there and then you're done. So yes, landing the plane was, and that's why I kept breaking, because every time I would start to get close to maintenance, I would start breaking my lines. And I had this fear. But I don't anymore. I just see nothing but wonderfulness getting to landing that plane. I'm just so encouraged and just so excited to get there.
And I can't help but feel that some of that fear that's been released is your part work, you know.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely was my parts work.
I love that. Are you comfortable sharing kind of what you eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner typically?
Sure. So I typically eat frozen raspberries, I mean blueberries, that I put them in the microwave for 2 minutes and they come out just wonderful. And I do yogurt. I do the Greek Faya yogurt and hemp seeds. You know, I was doing nuts, and I learned that I cannot do nuts. They're too triggering for me, but I can do hemp hearts. There we go, hemp hearts. I had to say hemp seeds, hemp hearts. And then I do an ounce of oatmeal, and I love that. I eat that almost every morning, never get tired of it. And I like to eat my raw vegetables for lunch and do cooked vegetables for dinner. So for lunch, I will do a salad. I will do veggies with salmon, sometimes with hummus, sometimes with the leftover meat that we had for dinner the night before. But I really like to do my raw veggies at lunch. And then I like to do my steamed or grilled vegetables at night. And that just seems to work well for me. And I didn't realize how much I love beans. I love beans. Sometimes I'll do beans for lunch and dinner. I love having my 6 ounces of beans. And then I will do, I love olives for my fat. I love yogurt, not yogurt, avocado. Yeah, So I do very simple. When I first started, I was trying to make all these fancy things and trying to make food taste like, what we were used to, um, yeah, make me enjoy my
Yeah.
food. But I've noticed that I love the simple food. It's just, sometimes it's as simple as a can of green beans and package of salmon. Like, it's, and I'm just so happy with it. I love my food, and it's simple.
Couldn't you be more shocked by that statement?
I know, right?
Sometimes I think, what? Because, yeah, a can of string beans and a packet of salmon, and you're good to go. You move on. You're
I
you're
never. Now
tactfully done it.
My husband and I still like to go out for dinner. I have my places that we like to go. But it's different than it used to be. It's the relaxing, spending time together, not having distractions, being at home. But yeah, I love the simpleness and the food factory.
Yeah. So I'm going to open it up to conversations with some of our little members here.
Okay.
And just so that you know, I can't really see anyone, but if you do have a question, just unmute and go ahead and ask. But I did have one additional question.
Okay.
Speaking of restaurants, and that is that do you take like extra vegetables with you? Do you just trust that you're getting enough when you go and eat out? Because I've noticed that sometimes I think, oh, that wasn't my 10 ounces. And then I feel kind of gypped. And
Yep.
so do you do anything to ensure that after your restaurant meal, you're
It
fine?
depends. It depends. So I live in a small town, and there's only 2 restaurants that we eat at. So when I'm in town, I know, in fact, one time we got our dinners to go, and I weighed my fajitas and they were like spot on. So when I'm in town, I'm pretty good. I am good. But when we go out of town, I will keep some purse vegetables, is what I call them, in my purse. Some sugar snap peas, some baby carrots, because that is the hardest thing for restaurants, is not getting enough vegetables. They always get enough protein, they always get enough fat, but
Yeah.
it's the vegetables that,
True.
yeah, I will keep those in my purse when I know I need them.
Good job. Good job. All right. Anybody have any questions for this amazing woman? Go ahead and unmute and just ask. I have another question, but
Okay.
have you thought of what your first ad is going to be?
I actually do have a half of protein at breakfast. So I already
Okay.
have one ad, but
Good.
I was talking to my guide the other day and I said, I want to have a fruit at dinner. And she said, no, we're going to wait for that one. I think that was the indulger in me that wanted a dessert with my dinner. So she said, we're going to wait on that one. So I don't know. I don't know what I want my first ad to be, other than my half a protein at breakfast. I'm kind of scared at lunch, because when I'm working, I only get 30 minutes at lunch, and I'm a slow eater. So I'm kind of worried about adding at lunchtime, because I'm afraid that I won't have time.
That may be something that you definitely want to add at your breakfast, so that you may not need to add to your lunch, but
That's what I'm thinking.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So as far as your exercise goes, are you getting coaching during the exercise?
Yes. Yeah. So I've been doing 30 minutes on my treadmill 2 or 3 times a week. And I only did it because I wanted to. I told my guide, I just feel like I want to move. And she's okay, let's start it. So
I love that. I
you
know.
know, it's different. All like in the years past when I was exercising, it was always to lose weight. It's for health, for my mental health, for my physical health, and just because it feels good. It's just very different than it used to be why I exercised.
Isn't that a shift in thinking, you know?
Huge, huge. I've had such an identity shift. I want to say that, you know, yes, I've gotten smaller, but my change has been more from the inside out than my outside. Um, just yeah, my who I am has changed more than what size I am.
I love that. I love that. Oh my goodness, what a ray of hope you are, you know, for somebody that has experienced the freedom and then kind of lost it and then regained it. You know, Susan talks about that being a diamond vase, where a diamond vase is even more valuable because it brings not only the strength of being a crystal vaser, but also the experience of being somebody that has lost that crystal vase and then rebuilt it into a diamond vase. And what a testimony you are, Barbara, of the power of being unstoppable. Do you have a word for the year?
I do. Now I forgot it. Healing.
Oh, healing. How appropriate.
Healing. Yeah.
Yeah. Healing physically, mentally,
Every way.
every way.
Every way. Every way.
I love it.
Healing.
I love it. Oh, Barbara, what a joy it's been to have you here today. I just feel like we've all just been enriched by the hope and the strength of, you know, not only doing your bright lines and not ever giving up, but just the joy of you being right on the verge of maintenance. And you know, nothing changes. Nothing changes. Maintenance is just more eating bright food. So it's not like confetti falls and, you know, we the heavens part and we see angels. It's really, it's just another bright day. But if you can embrace that bright day and enjoy every minute of it, you're going to have that too for maintenance. So Susan has said that how our weight loss has been is often how our maintenance will be. So you clearly are enjoying the weight loss journey and you're doing great. And you're such an example to all of us. So
thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. Such a wonderful opportunity. Thank you.
It's been a delight. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Go enjoy your Sabbath, and we'll be doing this again in a month. So thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for joining us.
Bye.
Thanks, Barbara and